Hi everyone, today we're playing some Hero Siege. It's basically Diablo clone. It's a little bit low graphic, however it's quite addictive and fun to play. Today I'm showing you some Samurai gameplay. It's one of the exclusive classes you can unlock with the recent sale and whatnot. It's pretty feasible to get. So, without further ado, we have Hero Siege. This is a couple levels in. I have a portal down to a place where there's a lot of bad guys. So we can show you a bit of the game, and we'll go through a couple basics, and then we're going to get started. So, tips for playing this game. 1, you get relics. They collect. When you're full, you can't get any more, except for the ones you can switch out, which are activated with E, which I don't have. If you die, you lose the relics. Everything else you have, you keep. Gear, XP, all that. Second, there's a skill tree. If there's a little line, you gotta unlock the skill before it to move down the line. And this is my setup for my samurai. This Omni Slash hits nearby enemies for a lot of damage, and if there's less enemies around, it hits the less enemies more often, basically. I've got some defensive stuff here. You can see my build here. If you're interested in a build, we'll do a different thing for that. But primarily I'm using Empire Slash, which does a bunch of damage and stuns people, and Omni Slash, which does a bunch of damage, combined with a couple other things, like Dodge Stance. So it's got a pretty good skill tree in here. These are bonus points you get after you exceed level 100. You can continue to level and get little bonuses like extra cooldown reduction. This build focuses around cooldown reduction so that I can spam those skills as often as possible. Now, tips for newbies. Go to options. If you want to see all the loot on the ground, turn on show loot names here. It really helps you not miss gear that drops on the ground and you don't see it, or you don't have to run around pushing alt all the time to make it reveal. I leave that on all the time. Other item is in-game. Auto pickup. Turn on auto pickup. It won't auto pick up gear, but it will auto pick up gems and gold and ore and things like that. And in this loot filter here is if you get tired of seeing common gear, you uncheck it, you'll no longer see common gear drop. It won't remove what's already on the board, but you won't see it drop anymore. Same thing with all these different levels. I've turned off everything but Mythic Plus because I don't need it. My pack's full of crap. So, this is, it has a waypoint system, just like Diablo. You start up through here, there's a waypoint in each area, then there's a boss, then you go back to a town, rinse and repeat till you go through the whole different act. I'm down here. I would normally proceed here. I have a couple waypoints, so I advance to this Devil's Breach area. And I've already been here, and I made a town portal. So, I'm going to show you how to kill a bunch of guys with this build. The mainstays of the build, and also it's a good demo for if you don't know how the samurai operates. He's got a lot of passive abilities. So on attack, I can proc this and do extra damage. This attacks a bunch of guys in an area. Combined, you get a lot of things shooting around. This is defensive, but also does damage around you. Your character technically jumps around with this, so this hits everybody you land near. This also will proc on a proc chance. It's another passive. Your attacks will throw extra damage. So when you combine all that with this big AoE thing, I'll show you in action. And as I said, I prioritize cooldown reduction on my stats. There's a couple of ones that are really high level that I just took for survivability because I'm in Inferno Difficulty. And the guys hit really hard. So I might not be optimized for perfect damage, however, I survive a little better right now because of those items. So, here we go. Big key with this, I use this buff here. It gives me 28% attack and move speed. So hit that, and then everything we do hits hard. Just kidding. Pretty quick build, you can do pretty quick runs. Move through these guys. There are other classes I use, but this one's nice because I can stay back here. I don't technically have to go auto attack, I don't have to melee, I can technically do everything from about a certain distance away. If these guys are coming up, I can hit them from here, and my character stays here. which is pretty useful because certain bosses are harder when you're right next to them. Or if you get swarmed by guys, you can kind of kite them around. So, you pick off them. But I don't really use any auto attack. I could use a better weapon. Right now I have a very good shaman weapon. Not a shaman at the same time. So I have all this plus elemental damage, and the character doesn't do any elemental damage. So, alright, there's another relic. The tooltips aren't very useful. If you hit escape, you can see what you have. It occasionally shoots like leaves out that hurt them. This gives you light. This little eye runs around and shoots little balls at people. So it's hard to tell what the relics do without looking up at a third-party page. But essentially, all I'm doing here is keeping my number 4 buff on the damage buff, and I'm spamming 2 every time it's up, and spamming 3 every time it's up. And if there's a lot of guys, I'll hit 1 just to get a little extra damage out. Survivability because it increases the dodge. And that's pretty much the main thing. So pretty much just keep clicking forward whenever it's off cooldown, which the duration of the buff is longer than the cooldown because of my cooldown reduction, so I have it up all the time. And we just run through it. Now these red items are satanic rarity. That one was a key. There's little bonus levels as you go through the normal areas that you can access. Normally you can go through them, but on Inferno you actually have to have a key for all of them. So that was just a key that gave me access to one of the bonus levels, if I can cross it. And as you can see with this build, it's nice because you don't have to slow down much. You get move speed buff, damage buff also. And you can just roll through and spam all the stuff. Just keep 4 up, spam 3, spam 2. So the number 1 skill here, this blade barrier here, that's kind of optional with this build. You don't have to use it. I use it because I like getting a little extra bump for the survivability sometimes because I play with a lot of friends, and when you have more people, the guys hit even harder. But you could easily move these points over and put them pretty much anywhere else. There is a pretty good option of a double. You can do a little clone that mimics your abilities and also does damage. So it's a damage increase, so that's pretty handy. Or you can focus on this, which is a dash. Or you can buff up this other ability, which is a damage / dash, but it's only good for going in, not for escaping, because you have to target an enemy with it. But damage-wise, it would be better than the blade barrier. I'm just running it for defensive, which I don't need much solo, but when I'm running with other people, I hit pretty hard. It's a fun class if you don't actually like clicking the melee button or auto attacking. You run the cooldown, then you don't really have to auto attack anything, really. I enjoy it. And I like the speed of it. Mostly run through everything at higher speed and kill it all. With this setup though, you are kind of limited by your cooldown reduction, which is why I run a lot of cooldown reduction. I had it maxed out, it maxes at 50%, but as I said, I had to flip on some survivability items. We're just hitting these buttons to open the doorway forward. So you want to do the survivability items, because if you're gonna do damage, and then you lose all your relics. So, alright, so I'm gonna buff, there's my buff, and let's see what we get here. You see what I mean about the extra little range on it? I can kind of just circle around them, keep clicking number 2, number 3 when available, and you can't actually get to the melee range, which is really handy sometimes. Don't know what the rubber duck does, but push E. Okay, there's a little exploding duck. Now we go to the real boss, because that's kind of like the pre-boss. Ground's gonna fall away. Two pieces are gonna try to kill me. They might succeed. Let's see. So with these little heads, you want to get the golden colored head. The other ones you can hit to get them away from the golden one is the boss's hit points. And don't follow me at all. Oh, I'll kill you. I feel like I'm mowing the yard. There we go. That's the first time I've done this on this difficulty, so not too difficult. So anyway, you've seen it in action through an entire little section and a boss. See how it operates, and it's actually pretty fun to do. So if you want to see how the samurai operates, here's your video. And this is level 100 with a couple pieces of the max skill gear, but not all of them. And hopefully you like the video. Thanks, and have a good one.